Yo, what's good? What's going on, man? Salute to everybody tuning into the channel, man. Let's talk about it, man. Timberland and Swiss Beats. It looks like they're finally bringing us the verses back, man. Man, I remember it was talks about Diddy and Jermaine Dupri. They were supposed to do a verses, I think in Madison Square Garden. Like there was a lot of stuff being done behind the scenes to make this happen. I was all for it. Like I know during the pandemic, like we were getting like classic verses, and they were supposed to take some of those verses on the road. Now we did get the epic Dipset versus the Locks. That's legendary. I don't think there will ever be a verses that could top that. But with some thinking, man, with this recent announcement, No Limit versus Cash Money, I think this could definitely live up to that and maybe surpass it depending on who's going to participate in this. Okay, now I was like, are they like 15 years too late? You know what I'm saying? They're between both sides, both camps. There's a lot of turmoil, between band members, just falling back from the music industry. You got people going at it with Master P, people going at it with Birdman and stuff like that. Now I know Cash Money just went on tour this past, I think it was like last year and like into like this year. They did a lot of cities. They had Wayne on there because there was a lot of talks between Wayne and Birdman not really seeing eye to eye due to like financial issues. But for some reason they were able to, squash that, and Wayne did go on a tour with them. And I think you can't do a Cash Money, reunion tour without Lil Wayne. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But they did it, man. And I know No Limit did something like that too. I don't know if it was like a really tour, but I know they did a couple of big venues. And I didn't really hear too much like crazy about it, but it's not really too many artists as far as No Limit that are like still, active and that actually have a good relationship, with Master P. If I'm just thinking of some of the artists that's on the roster, you got Mystical, who's locked up in jail right now. You got C Murder, who's locked up in jail right now. Those are two big key artists, on No Limit. Mia X, I don't know where her situation is. Last I checked, she was having a big issue with Master P. And then you got, Silk the Shocker, and then you have Magic. I don't know, I think Magic disappeared. I'm not disappeared, excuse me. I think he passed away. I think he's deceased. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment section. But he had some crazy hits. And I'm just trying to think, like, who else? Like, I mean, Lil Romeo. I mean, of course, you probably had Lil Romeo in there, but and you got Master P. But I can't really think of like nobody else besides. Oh, I'm tripping. Besides these names that I mentioned, you got Snoop. You know what I'm saying? No Limit is definitely Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's a part of No Limit, especially when he went through all his issues with Suge Knight and Death Row. When he left Death Row, he went to No Limit, and then he went on to produce and create a lot of classic records, really dope albums, and Master P really saved Snoop's career. So I think he's forever loyal and embedded to Master P. So if you have a No Limit reunion, I don't understand how you do not have Snoop Dogg on there. You know what I'm saying? And Snoop Dogg is arguably one of the greatest, biggest artists in the world when it comes to like music. Now I'm even gonna say hip hop to music. Like everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is. Everybody, from your grandmother, your great grandmother, to even kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like No Limit they got some stuff going for them. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure they'll probably do C Murder and Mystical records and stuff like that. But it would just be super dope if these guys were, actually, home. I think that would just take it directly off the top, like on a competition wise, that would be crazy. But I still feel like with Snoop and Master P and a couple others, I think they can put together something really dope to compete against Cash Money. But now you look at Cash Money, I mean, come on now, like it's pretty much self-explanatory. They've sold over billions of dollars in sales and streams, bro. Like you got Lil Wayne, of course, okay, right? You got Juvenile. Juvenile got classics. He got hits, you know what I mean? Features wise. Come on. BG, the same, like he got some classic verses. He got some dope features, dope albums. Turk, I don't know what Turk's situation is. I know he was supposed to be on the tour. Then he left the tour because he wasn't getting compensated properly. So I don't know if he would even participate in this. But like I said, if you got Cash Money, you gotta have him on there. Okay. Then who else you got? I mean, you gotta have Manny Fresh there, you know, artist and producer. You know what I'm saying? That you can't have a Cash Money, you know, verses and not have him there. You know what I'm saying? Then you got, you know, Birdman, you know. And then you look at some of the artists that they signed during their like during the time where they were scorching hot. Now I don't even know if you want to add people like Drake or Nicki Minaj. You know, I don't know if they would participate in this because this is more so Cash Money. Nicki and Drake is more so like Young Money. But even though it's like, but you know, Cash Money, they had Young Thug. You know what I'm saying? They released the album with Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. Who else? I remember they had what's the duo group from Chicago? I think Boo and Gotti. You know, they had some crazy records too. So it's like Cash Money. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory that Cash Money will really dominate this, especially if they have Lil Wayne, because you can't just do it with just, you know what I mean, the Hot Boys like albums and stuff like that. But you still could compete with like Juvie, because Juvie his resume is crazy. His resume is crazy, you know. But I still feel like, I don't know if it would be a slaughter, like depending on, you know, if you got Wayne and then you got Snoop, like those two, you know, predominantly main big artists on both sides representing, along with, you know, some of the other artists that have, you know, classic albums, dope album cuts, you know, great features and stuff like that. And then if they bring people out, you know, to perform certain great records from either side, that could play a real pivotal role. You know, Master P, you know, like it or not, he got a lot of great relationships within the music industry. So I'm pretty sure he can cultivate a super dope, you know, lineup, you know, to come out and kind of perform on his behalf. But if I'm just thinking off the top of my head, because I'm pretty sure there's some artists that I did forget to mention on both sides, I'm taking Cash Money, like taking this like without a shadow of a doubt. You know, if they can get all the members there, and like I said, you get some of the artists that were on the label during, you know, the 90s and not the 90s, but like the, you know, the early 2000s and stuff like that. And then you get some of the artists, you know, like the Young Thugs and some of the guys that did, you know, that were signed to Cash Money or they released albums on Cash Money. I think that would be super duper fire, bro. Super duper fire. And I think you definitely got to have this in the South. I'm just trying to think, where could they? Well, they got to have this in New Orleans. I think it's only right. They both from New Orleans. You got to have it in New Orleans. And I also thought about it too, like Cash Money, like they signed, I think Currency was signed to Cash Money at the time too. So you got Currency that could pop up too. So I don't know, bro. That'd be crazy, bro. That'd be crazy if Birdman could bring out Nicki and stuff like that. I don't know about Drake, but if they can solve their relationship as far as Wayne, Drake, Nicki and stuff like that, and they can come out for Cash Money and Birdman, that would be just undisputed, bro. Because I don't know what other artists that No Limit had besides Snoop Dogg that's like a super duper star that could compete against like a Wayne, Nicki, Drake, Juvie, you know what I'm saying, like that. I don't know, man, but yo, like Cash Money got hits, bro. They got hits. So I don't know, man. Like I'm excited for that. You know, if this is something that we're definitely gonna get in 2026, I don't know if this is something that's gonna happen, you know, this year per se, but you know, they getting up in age, bro, and I think it's definitely time, man. I was a little apprehensive when I first saw it because I'm just like, okay, you got Master P and Birdman on there. There's videos of Birdman like falling asleep during conversations and stuff like that. He's getting up in age. But when I see Master P still look like, he still look good as far as for his age. Pause. Like healthy, man. Like dude standing strong. He's still selling cereal, snacks and stuff like that. Like ultimate hustler, bro. Ultimate hustler. And I have a high level respect just from a business acumen for Cash Money and No Limit Records for not only like the music and the contribution that they brought to the game, but also the teaching, man, the inspiration. So I think this could really be something dope, man, if it's put together right. If it's in a big venue, and if they are showing this live like how they did all the rest of the verses, this could be epic, bro. This could be epic. If this is gonna happen this year before 2026, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. And hopefully this opens the door for us to get more verses, like versus matchups that we were asking for, and even some of the versus battles that actually happen virtually. Some of those were supposed to like, transform to actually on the stage. So I don't know, man. We gotta wait and see what's gonna happen, man. But what do y'all think, bro? Like, y'all got Cash Money or y'all got No Limit? Like, honestly, let me know what y'all think, man, in the comment section, man. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like. It's your boy AC though. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.